From the last stylebender's insane footwork and fighting IQ to the Reaper's embarrassing losses in their last two matchups, here's why Robert Whittaker doesn't stand a chance against Israel Adesanya. The rivalry between these two fighters is legendary and have faced each other twice before in some of the most exciting matchups I've ever seen. There's no denying that they're both absolute beasts in the octagon, but there can only be one champ. And with Adesanya's amazing footwork and wrestling intelligence, I wouldn't be surprised if he ends the trilogy with a decisive win. I mean, he's already beaten Whittaker twice before, and with his insane skills in the octagon, a third win seems closer than ever. Most MMA fighters can throw punches and kicks, but few can move around the octagon like Adesanya. He's a total ring general, with smooth, lateral, and linear movement, pivots, and fancy footwork to dodge opponents charging at him. But that's not all. He's also a master at cutting off angles, and when opponents try to escape, he steps with them, trapping them and shutting down their exit. In a fight against Paulo Costa, a top cage cutter, Adesanya outmaneuvered him like a boss. Costa couldn't apply his pressure game because Adesanya was always a step ahead. When backed against the fence, Adesanya pulls off magic tricks. He shuffles from side to side, baiting opponents into committing to an angle, only to swiftly circle out and leave them swinging at air. It's like watching a magician vanish. But here's the kicker. Adesanya's fight IQ is insane. He reads opponents like a book, and with his background in taekwondo, kickboxing, and boxing, he's got a mental library of moves. He knows when to strike, fake, and counter, luring opponents into thinking they're in range, then bam! He catches them off guard totally. That's why Adesanya's gonna beat Whittaker in their trilogy fight. He's got the footwork, evasiveness, and mind games to outsmart anyone, and Whittaker's probably gonna get schooled for a third time. And guess what? Adesanya's list of skills don't end there. This man is a total boss, both on the outside and the inside, and that's why my money is on him. Here's the deal. Adesanya is a freaking genius at squeezing every ounce of advantage he's got, like his height and reach. Many other fighters, despite being tall as hell, fail to use this major plus properly. Take Stefan Struve, the towering titan of UFC history, who even had a kickboxing background, but never really made the most of his lanky frame. But Adesanya, he's on a whole new level, man. Picture this from the outside. Adesanya unleashes an unstoppable attack of bone-crushing low kicks that'll make your jaw drop, making full use of those elongated limbs to strike from a safe distance, where opponents can't even lay a finger on him. And those fake outs? They're pure wizardry. Adesanya messes with his opponents' heads, using his entire body, shoulders, hips, the whole shebang to bamboozle and manipulate them. They're left chasing shadows while he's pulling all the strings. But hold on tight, because here's the mind-boggling part. Adesanya is just as lethal up close and personal. He slyly baits his opponents into overextending themselves, and then bam! He delivers devastating counter left hooks with surgical precision. It's like watching a magician perform tricks with a knockout punch. And here's a mind game that'll leave you speechless. Adesanya's opponents get so fixated on landing that one epic knockout blow that they exhaust themselves in the process. They push even harder, falling right into Adesanya's trap like clueless rookies. So get ready to witness Adesanya's mind-blowing octagon mastery as he tears Whittaker apart piece by piece. This is going to be a showdown you won't want to miss. But here's the deal. No fighter is perfect, and Adesanya is no exception. He's got his weaknesses, and Whittaker recently said he caught one during Israel's loss to Jan Blachowicz. And guess what? UFC legend Michael Bisping thinks he might know which one he's talking about. So, in early 2021, Adesanya suffered his first MMA loss against Jan Blachowicz when he aimed to become a double champ in the UFC. Blachowicz had a solid game plan that focused on wrestling to neutralize Adesanya's slick striking. Since then, Whittaker has been claiming that Blachowicz's strategy holds the key to defeating this fighter. Recently, our man Michael Bisping dropped a hint on his YouTube channel, suggesting he knows what Whittaker was talking about. He believes it's all about the takedowns in the middle of the octagon. Bisping thinks defending takedowns against the fence is easier because fighters spend hours drilling their takedown defense against it. When you're a middleweight champ and a fantastic kickboxer like Adesanya, people are going to try to take you down, and Whittaker's all locked and loaded. Adesanya has some other problem areas too. His wrestling defense relies on striking, but facing bigger opponents is uncharted territory. And submissions, not his strong suit. He'll have to work on these things if he wants to keep his winning streak going, because one thing's for sure, Whittaker's going to give their next fight everything he's got. But will it be enough? Probably not. There's a reason he's lost every time he stepped into the octagon opposite the last stylebender, and even veteran Daniel Cormier thinks he doesn't stand a chance against him. According to Daniel Cormier, it's a tough road ahead. Despite his impressive wins at middleweight, including victories over big names like Yoel Romero and Kelvin Gastelum, Whittaker just couldn't crack Adesanya's code in their 2 fights. Cormier believes Whittaker is a cut above the rest in the division, you see? There's a clear number 1 in Adesanya and a clear number 2 in Whittaker. He's the undisputed king of everyone but the champ. Holding the championship before is nothing to be ashamed of, but for Whittaker, it's not just about beating everyone else. He needs a stroke of luck too. Cormier doesn't see Whittaker getting a trilogy with Adesanya or defeating him. The problem is Adesanya's height advantage and unique style, which is a major challenge for Whittaker. But hey, at least Cormier believes Whittaker can dominate everyone else in the division. If Whittaker wants another title shot, though, Cormier says he needs a game changer. Whittaker needs a big change if he dreams of fighting for the championship again. Otherwise, even if Adesanya loses, he'll just get an immediate rematch to show him who's boss again. I mean, it's not like Whittaker doesn't have his own advantages over Adesanya. He is one of the best in the division after all, and has defeated the biggest and baddest in the game. Some people say he might even be a better wrestler than Adesanya. Seriously. This guy is a beast when it comes to freestyle wrestling. Did you know he's got gold medals in Australia's National Wrestling Championships and the Australia Cup? Wrestling is crucial in MMA, and Whittaker knows how to control the fight, but it's not just his wrestling chops that make him dangerous. Whittaker knows how to integrate it into his overall fighting style. Check this out. He sets up his takedowns with his jab. He peppers his opponents with jabs, then bam. He uses it to shove them and picks up their legs, taking them down. Crafty, right? And when it comes to grappling, Whittaker is on another level. Adesanya is all about kickboxing, but the Reaper has got the ground game covered. He's earned 5 wins by submission and holds a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, while Adesanya has only got a purple belt, man. Whittaker's ground game is solid because he controls his opponents with underhooks, like even Ronaldo Jacare Souza couldn't do much against him. Here's the thing, when Adesanya gets taken down, he's got this habit of turning onto his stomach, leaving his back exposed. Whittaker knows how to capitalize on that, you guys. He traps his opponent's leg, neutralizes their defense, and starts raining elbows and punches. Whittaker's got the wrestling, grappling, and overall game to take on anyone, so this win might not be as easy as Adesanya might expect. But in the end, you know who the superior fighter is, the last stylebender himself. Just look at their last fight and how he absolutely crushed poor Whittaker. Back in 2019, Adesanya shocked the world by knocking Whittaker out and taking his belt. It was a jaw-dropping moment that left everyone in awe of his skills. But you know what? Whittaker ain't one to back down. When they had their rematch, Whittaker came in swinging, but Adesanya had an aura of superiority. He dominated the first round, toying with Whittaker like a cat with a mouse. It was a masterclass in striking, with Adesanya picking apart Whittaker's defenses. Sure, Whittaker made a comeback in the later rounds, but Adesanya held his ground. He proved once again that he's the reigning king, winning the fight by unanimous decision. That's his 4th title defense, folks. So Whittaker might think he has what it takes for a 3rd fight, but let's face it, Adesanya seems unbeatable. Well, there you have it. From the Reaper's embarrassing losses in their last 2 matchups to the last stylebender's insane footwork and fighting IQ, this was why Robert Whittaker doesn't stand a chance against Israel Adesanya.